Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. This is my first time here at the Dead Sea, and it's a beautiful place, so I certainly hope it will not be the last time. It's fantastic. Congratulations with this nice place. I'm from the cold north, where we by no means have the same weather as we have here right now. So I'm heading an interdisciplinary aging center at the University of Copenhagen. Therefore, we are interested in the aging, the normal process of aging, but also unhealthy and accelerated aging. So if you look at aging, then it's the accumulation of changes over time, essentially. And some of these changes increase and some of them decrease. Increase could be experience, decreases could be biology. A lot of biological function decreases during age. So this is what I'm going to focus on now for the next minutes in this pitch. Because we know that there are some we call them hallmarks of aging, and they are listed here. That is characteristic we see with aging cells. Some of them are primary, the red ones, genomic instability, mitochondrial dysfunction, cellular senescence, and some of them are secondary. So if we focus on DNA damage and stress, because this could be very relevant here in these environments, then when the DNA is stressed, we see a response. First of all, we see a DNA damage response that is inducing a signaling cascade that eventually will decide whether cells should die or live. But we also see a response to DNA repair. We see a response of the DNA repair pathways, and they are responding to transcription stress, replication stress, etc. And all this affects the bioenergetic status of the cell because energy is essential for all these processes to take place. And that is mediated through mitochondria. And mitochondria is the organelle in the cell that consumes the oxygen and converts it to ATP, which is the chemical energy in the cell. We know that genomic instability increases with age, and essentially in all organs. This is an example illustrated from mice studies, but that happens also in other organisms. So we see an increased accumulation of genomic instability, suggesting that these preventive systems like DNA repair is simply getting bad with age. And we also know that there are a number of diseases called segmental proteinuria or premature aging disorders. They are shown here, Werner's syndrome, Cockayne, xeroderma pigmentosum, etc. We use them in the DNA repair research field because they're good models for studying aging. And what's interesting is that they are all defective in DNA repair, so suggesting that inefficient DNA repair actually accelerate aging. So let's look at how DNA is damaged and repaired. There's a number of sources that can damage repair, and these sources can induce a number of different alterations or lesions to the DNA. Pyrimidine dimers from UV radiation, double-stranded break from radiation, oxidative damage, replication, mismatches. So they are taken care of by a number of different DNA repair pathways. They're partly overlapping, but they also have their preference for a certain kind of DNA damage. For instance, nucleotide excision repair, primary takes care of sun damage, double-stranded break repair for ionizing radiation, induced damage, etc. So what happens is when these systems, they don't function normally, so we will have what we call the snowball effect. We will simply have an increased damage to the macromolecules in the cell, the DNA, which will induce abnormal cell function, tissue function, and eventually body function. And that can accelerate the aging process and induce also disease. So that is very, very important, these systems work. So if we have this rapid accumulation of damage, we can actually accelerate the unhealthy aging. And the extreme case, as I showed you, that's the progeria. So let's go back to the hallmarks of aging, because these are not isolated hallmarks, and that's my point here, that it's very important that when we look at these hallmarks in the cells, that we realize that they are interconnected. So if you have an unhealthy cell, then it's very, very rarely, unless you made it yourself, that it's only defective in one of these hallmarks of aging. So there's an interplay, and they affect each other. And I will just give you an example now, and that is the interconnection between genomic instability and mitochondrial function. Because we know these diseases I told you that were defective in DNA repair, they also suffer from mitochondrial dysfunction. So they have DNA repair defects, but also mitochondrial dysfunction. And this is mediated through this mechanism where if we have unrepaired DNA damage, then it will induce a signaling cascade, essentially PARP1 protein is important here, that will signal mitochondrial dysfunction and then disease. One of these systems are important for repair of sun-induced damage, UV damage, and that's the nucleotide excision repair system. And when you inactivate this repair system, you will see, this is just to give you an idea, that you actually affect many different biological functions in the cells. And one important molecule that is affected here is NAD+. Because what happens is that if you have unrepaired DNA damage, it will induce PARP1. PARP1 requires NAD+ to be activated, and then PARP1 that is activated will activate DNA repair. However, this hyperactivation of PARP1 will deplete NAD+ in the cell, and that will affect mitochondrial dysfunction. So knowing the biology can often be useful when you want to do translational studies, because in this case, there are actually many studies going on around the world to try to supplement NAD+ to various diseases, including cancers and neurodegenerative disorders that are also characteristic of DNA repair defects and mitochondrial dysfunction. And this is an example that could perhaps also be useful for other examples of natural products. So let me go back to the NAD+ example. So as I said, it's a central molecule, and it affects many different cellular functions. So therefore, you will often see these complex phenotypes actually when you are depleted in these molecules. So last slide, the bottom line here is that to find strategies to reduce the accumulation of DNA damage, that will for sure be able to extend health span, perhaps even lifespan, and also postpone disease. So this was my pitch. Thank you.